Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Gemini March 2022 forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James. For those of you who are stopping by for the first time, and if you are, welcome. Good to see you. You're most welcome to join our club here. We have great fun here. Our readings are different, good. As the subscribers already know, it's always great to see the subscribers. Now, this is something that is of a sub-Saharan African theme, this deck. So the protagonists will mainly be people of color, I'm pleased to say, because it's very difficult to find a deck in which that is the case. So we are going to, and it arrived for me FedEx yesterday, so I'm now using it and done my meditations over it, and we'll see what there is in store for you, shall we, Gemini? So let's get it underway. First up is the Six of Blades. Interesting, that's a good thing. Blades, of course, being swords in the ordinary course. And there's the Four of Blades. That's interesting as well. Fascinating imagery on this, I must say. What's this one here? Oh, there's a couple here. There's the Four of Staffs. So that goes to show. And the Ace of Blades. So a lot of swords action going on here for you. Don't mind a bit of swords action myself from time to time in the mental realm. That is. Let's see. Great suit. A lot of people have a problem with the swords cards. I don't. I think they're very powerful, very energetic, very cleansing, very move you forward. Finally, let's pull this one out here and see what there is. See, those two were stuck together before. That just goes to show how new this deck is. Let's have a look here. Oh, what a great image. There's Mama Blade. Well, all the swords everywhere. Come now, sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at these cards together while I do the reading for you. Fascinating. Everything is air except for this Four here. So let's have a look at the Four first. And then air sign of Gemini. We'll look at your cards. In the suit of blades here. Well, here we have the Four of Staffs. Well, do you know in the Volga region of Ghana, the Anlo people hold a celebration of peace known as the Hogbetsotso Festival, the Festival of Exodus. Now, the festival marks the time when the Anlo migrated from Sudan and settled under the rulership of the wicked king Agokoli of Notsi. The people of the town had the women pour water along a particular part of the wall that imprisoned them. Now, once the ground was soft enough, they dug a hole and escaped. Now, it is said that they walked backwards from the wall to give the illusion that their footsteps were heading towards the village, whereas the evil one turned into a rat and ran through the dirt to make the steps look old. Now, during the time of that festival, all outstanding disputes are settled in an effort to restore peace and harmony to the community. Everyone in the town also works together, sweeping and cleansing their homes and the streets so that no evil or discord will befall them. It is believed that the harmony and teamwork of their ancestors is what led to their survival, so they must always seek to keep balance within their community. Now, on the final days of the festival, there is a grand reception held for the chief, featuring dancing and merrymaking. Now, the astrology here is interesting. It is Venus ruling the third Decan of Aries, which is the 10th of April to the 19th of April. Now, Venus needs to travel 180 degrees away from its rulership in Libra, because I see these things pointing into the side. Venus rules two signs, Taurus and Libra, but these things poking up into the sky give me the idea of the air sign of Libra. And so I see Venus moving 180 degrees from Libra to get into Aries. So Venus is going to be in detriment in Aries. But it does bring some harmony to the aggressive Mars, because Mars is the ruler of Aries. And I think that there could well be some opposites attract action going on here, you know. It could also be that you have an emotional, which is the Venus aspect, an emotional idea to move off in a new direction, which is the Aries thing. Now, the number 4 here, numerologically, refers to completeness, to progress, also to power and to stability. And I think that what this is asking you to do here is to make sure that things are completed off. There's also the possibility of new beginnings, but once things have been tied off, if you're going to get a new boyfriend, for example, make sure that the old boyfriend has been done away with, if you like. This is really, though, a green light to success for you. It's a foundation, the first stage to completion. It could possibly mean also setting up a new house or even moving home. Now, I do stress, though, that Venus, symbol of beauty and love, combined with Aries, the principle of new beginnings. So the heart pushes forth and seeks the development of the beautiful in new directions. But before the new can arise, the old must be complete. The conflict between opposites must be resolved in a way which will further you on the way towards your highest goal. And tensions in relationships can work positively when the individuality of each partner is recognized and respected. You understand that, don't you? This makes it possible for you to support one another in moving forward. Now, I see here that something beautiful is making its way into your relationships. You may notice it first as established conditions are called into question and discussed openly. Clarifying the old, of course, is a prerequisite for a new oneness, a new beginning. Are you prepared to accept your partner as she or he is in spite of your differences? And what areas are in urgent need of clarification or resolution? If there is some tension between you and somebody else, now is a good time to clarify and resolve the interaction and complete the old. Say this to yourself at this time. Completing the old frees me for the new. Let's have a look now at this person. Now, this is Mama Blade, but as a court card, they can be either male nor female. You see the melanation in these cards? The artist has done quite a good job on this, I think. Let's have a look here. As I say, the genders are irrelevant. It's really the message that's coming through here. Look, I'm getting a lot of Libra around here for you. Also a lot of Virgo. So Libra and Virgo may well be of interest to you now. Now, Mama Blade here is the spirit of air and water. Water urges you to follow your heart, whereas air challenges you to elevate your mind. Now, these elements come together within Mama Blade to keep her head above the water so that she isn't blindly carried away, helping her to maneuver through even the harshest living conditions. Now, when the waters get choppy, she catches the wind and rides the waves to open shore where she can then plant her feet on solid ground. She can also be like an air knife that blows away unnecessary particles, blowing the cover on any who try to deceive her. She has a gift at seeing people's true nature, you know. This could well be you, I think. It can be difficult to be under her scrutiny, yet comforting, though, to have her see the light of who you really are. This also makes her slow to trust people, but when she does, she demands loyalty and consistency, and in turn you will receive no less than the same. Now, anybody who has faced a lot of adversity, I think, like her, it comes out of it with wisdom, and we all need to dissolve the ego and do what must be done to rise above the tumultuous waves and the crumbling earth. Now, you might also know somebody like this, because this person can somebody be like a gale force wind carrying a destructive wall of intense emotion to your doorstep. She won't be denied and will rain down on anyone who opposes her, yet she can be like an air bubble sinking deeper into placid waters, keeping her mind isolated, shrinking as it sinks deeper into the darker waters. But at worst, she is spiteful and vindictive, intent on seeing her enemies succumb to her control, playing puppeteer with their lives. Does that ring any bells with you? But what is clear for you, is that this is a period when you will be perceived by others as being very graceful, very perceptive. You will be a keen observer of other people and a subtle interpreter, being able to read between the lines. You may well be intensely individualistic at this time, but you will be confident and gracious. You'll be cutting through, I think, old masks that no longer serve you. And there's a great clarity and a rational, intellectual aspect to you during this time. Logical, objective. These are the things that I'm seeing here. I'm getting that Virgo and Libra. Her association with Libra connects her to the major arcana card, justice or adjustment. And this is all about making clear decisions based on fact and fairness, which I think is going to be quite similar to you at this period, you know. It's also the case that I think that you are going to be called upon to use your intellect to make an unbiased decision about a situation or a person. Now, compassion and empathy may distract you, but you must go with your head and not your heart. This is not a time to beat around the bush about a situation or a person. Rather, it is a time to decide now and to act. And I think you might also be cutting through old patterns. And you'll have the courage of your convictions and be able to move forward. I think you're in the process of separating yourself more and more from old roles and behavior patterns. This may bring painful experiences with it, but it's worth it. The clarity you gain frees you. Which are the roles you most easily and most often hide behind, and are you ready to drop them? Observe yourself in your different roles. Some you will continue to play, but now with more awareness, you'll play them until you no longer identify yourself with them. And say this to yourself at this time: my only duty in life is to remain true to myself. Well, let's look more at these air cards, shall we? Right in the middle here, and so this is obviously quite important, I'd say, to you, is this card, which is the Ace of Air. Now let's have a look at it. You might need to move up a bit so I can get you in focus. There you go. Here we go. Well, actually, you know, this depicts a ceremonial sword of the Congo, which evolved from the executioner's swords of old. It is a symbol of power and authority brandished by the chieftain. The design really mimics the human form in a way, doesn't it? With each blade like an arm raised up into the air. It's as if they are arms raised in victory, or even in surrender to the cycles of peace and chaos our lives take us through. Now, the aurora borealis, you know, the northern lights, they dance around the blade as it emerges from the dark mountains below. And even though it's a violent storm of electrons that collide with the Earth's atmosphere, to the naked eye it is a beautiful wave of lights that dance across the sky. And the same way, you can find inspiration in the adversity you experience throughout your life. When life has you against the ropes, you are thrown the Ace of Blades, which allows you to cut your way through to victory. New ideas and insights come forth, bringing clarity and context to your situation. Now, you see the light at the end of the tunnel now, fueling your focus and determination to push through. This card may also appear when it's time to fight for justice, holding your own knife by the blade. During these times, you've got to guard against exploiting others, though, or burning bridges. Don't burn bridges, and allow yourself to be strong so that you are not cut down. And you have got to be accountable for the swords that you wield in your life. I think that the people that are likely to be important to you during this time are Aquarius, Pisces, and Capricorn. This suit can be difficult, but this is being swords, of course, or blades as it's called here. But this speaks of great original thinking for you and brilliant powers of thought, almost as if there's a divine inspiration. Your present clarity is a wonderful condition for your undertaking. You will be able to recognize facts and call by name things which other people would prefer to sweep under the carpet. Now, this entails a great responsibility on your part. Be sure never to express your insights heartlessly, but when you are fully in contact with love, use your sword without sparing yourself or others. What supports and what hinders your clarity? This is a period of great insight and clarity for you. You've gained a new vision, I think, and are going to pursue opportunities which draw upon your creative and your mental ability, that fine Gemini mind being put here. I think you might also be standing up for the rights of other people during this time. You will have gained a new insight and inspiration. You've come out of the clouds of confusion and doubt into clarity now. It's all blue skies, so forge ahead. Now, I say it's time to forge ahead because you're given a reprieve also. So if you've been under the hammer a little bit, I love that card there. There was a card here, an energy which looked interesting, which is, there's the 6. This is the 4. This is the thing which relates to that which we were just talking about in respect as well. Have a look at this. Now, here we have, this is great art as well. This is the 4 of Blades. Now, in the 4 blades here, warriors stand, resting before continuing to move forward in their journey. Now, although the war is still active around them, I assume, they spend some time in silence to review their experiences before receiving further instructions. It's the calm before the fierce battle to come. Now, you could imagine that during this time they are thinking of their loved ones, processing their fears, holding a space of gratitude for the lives they've lived, or simply planning how they will survive. Either way, it's a most cherished and important time for them. Once everything begins to move again, there may not be enough time to contemplate, only to act through their intuition, which is what you will be doing. Now, the reason why this is going to be happening is because we look at the astrology here, and it is Jupiter ruling the 3rd Decan of Libra, that 14th to the 22nd of October. Now, Libra tries to find balance in your life. The need for balance can sometimes induce unrest. And Libra can sometimes induce indecisiveness, But Jupiter is there, and Jupiter gives you a period of rest from what has probably been a difficult situation, as well as opening your higher mind's flexibility. That's where this ace comes in as well. So that's why that's there. Now, that's necessary, of course, for you to resolve conflicts in life. And Jupiter also allows you to move on, to expand your thinking, to go on to obtain great things, because Jupiter is the great benefic. This is a period where you will also feel calm, centered, and have a clarity, obviously, from that ace, a spiritual cleansing, and probably a recuperation period, quiet consideration, taking a break from some of the aggravations in life. Now, it may also be the case that this is a time where you need to take some time out from a stressful situation, even if you can get something of a holiday, to recharge your batteries. It's as if there's a mental health break that's needed. Now, conflicts, they don't just go away, but time out from them is probably needed. So make the most of a mental health break that you give yourself. But don't put off what needs to be dealt with, as unavoidable things can grow to become bigger and even more challenging. Now, you can trust your intuition to know when enough rest is right for you. You have enough inner clarity to successfully carry out your plans now. Be sure at all times that you feel good about what is happening, though. What supports or what hinders your clarity? Check your surroundings and rearrange them to support calm and centeredness. And say to yourself, I am at peace within myself. Yep. And then we move on to really earned success here from this period of recuperation, that I think that you will go through this mental health recuperation, even if you don't get the chance to get away for a holiday. You know, when I think of healing and reconciliation, I often think of the metaphor of picking up the broken pieces. But some pieces are unsalvageable and better left where they are, you know. Here you see what carrying those sharp, broken pieces can really do to you. With all the sharp chunks of blades you choose to carry, you simply end up hurting yourself. You bleed out and wonder why you no longer have the wherewithal to keep going. Now, the two swords that remain, they remain whole, and they're more than enough to remind you where you've come from and to protect you on the way to where you are going. But this is earned success, this card for you. And it is Mercury ruling the second Decan of Aquarius, the 30th of January to the 9th of February. Well, the air planet of Mercury finds itself in the fixed sign of air, which is Aquarius. And Mercury happens to be exalted in Aquarius, which highlights the intellectual qualities of this card. Now, Aquarius is an air sign. It's not a water sign, as many people think. Aquarius is an air sign, which is detached and intellectual by nature. And Mercury's ability to analyze brings a clear perspective to you going forward. And the astrology here also, just as Mama Blade was saying here, this is also suggesting that a somewhat detached but balanced assessment of a situation is needed. You will need to analyze something without bias and too much emotion to get the best result. Aquarius is also the sign of innovation and originality. And so this energy may also represent communicating ideas that are new or even unconventional in an orderly way. This is also speaking of mental clarity here and using your intellect and logic. Now, there is something around here of a relocation for somebody here, but there's also a period of calmness ahead. There's a unification of ideas, an all-embracing understanding. I mean, I suppose if I was to put it together, I'd say that you've obtained intellectual clarity from learning from difficult experiences, that you've grown through tough times and now you've got a handle on life and you can make intelligent decisions that are going to benefit your life. There's a greater level of awareness to your thinking and actions now. Now, it could also mean that there's a situation around that that you haven't really been able to come to grips with. And it is now starting to get better because you're thinking out a better approach in dealing with the situation. Really you do possess the ability to perceive on different levels at this time and from different perspectives. Your understanding of things unites many different aspects. And ask yourself this: where are and what are the ruts in your life? Trust your insight. Communicate in a way that others will understand. And allow the rose to unfold. And say this to yourself, that the rose of recognition blossoms in my heart. That's the way it is for you. Did you like that? I certainly enjoyed providing it to you, and thank you very much for joining me for your March 2022 reading. Now, if you did enjoy it on the way out, please do me the favor of smashing the like button. It's good for the YouTube thing, the software algorithm that allows more people to see the readings. But in the meantime, I want you to remember one thing, though, and it is this: that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.